Hello to all, and a very warm welcome to this new paranormal series. Today, we are going to delve into the truly astonishing story of Sharon, the renowned medium, and her encounters with spirits. Sharon, born without sight, has become a celebrated figure in Belfast as a medium. In Northern Ireland, her story begins very early. At only the age of 5, she will start hearing voices in her room. At first, she was very scared because she didn't know who these people were, and her mother told her that there was never anyone in the room when she heard her voices. So growing up, Sharon decided to try to channel her voices, to try to understand them and be able to interpret them. As she grows up and with experience, she will even be able to communicate with them. She will then decide to use her gift or allow many people to talk to their deceased. Many people were very skeptical about Sharon. But one of the cases that proved that Sharon really wants to communicate with spirits, and that of Teddy, the real one. Widowed for a few years, he unfortunately could not mourn his wife, and so he decides to accept an experiment to go to Sharon the medium and see what she could do for him and try to allow him to mourn. A lawyer by profession, Luigi is very skeptical and he does not believe in all these things at all. But one of his friends will insist that he go meet her. His wife being dead for a few years, and with all the stories that are being told around Sharon, he is very intrigued, and so he will agree to go ahead. But that's why it's not a scam. Teddy decided not to give Sharon any clues. He will only give her his name, first name, and offer her a date. She'll accept. And what is incredible is that from the first minutes of the interview, Sharon will indicate that she is already in contact with members of his family, and in particular his wife, who died 14 years ago. She even goes so far as to explain to him that his wife is laughing at Teddy, because he had a picture of himself and his wife placed on his desk and also next to his bed. Later, he will affirm indeed that he had this photo in 2 copies in the 2 places mentioned by Sharon, while he himself was not really aware that it was the same photo. Later in the interview, Sharon mentions being in contact with Teddy's daughter, and Teddy was very surprised because it is impossible that Sharon managed to know this information, because he and his wife had a first child who died very young. Throughout the rest of the interview, Sharon manages to give very specific details about Teddy's private life, especially on points that no one knew and that only Teddy was supposed to know. Revelations which are all the more disturbing because Sharon is blind, and throughout the interview, Teddy will claim that he did his best to remain impassive, and it is therefore impossible that he could have seen or anticipated Teddy's reactions to ensure that what she was telling was true. Many specialists tried to look into her case to understand how she managed to communicate with the people's spirits, but all these tests failed to determine how she was able to communicate or do that. But all the specialists agree that there is still something very strange about Sharon. She herself claims to have nothing to hide, and she has always accepted all the tests offered to her to verify that what she tells is true. She insists that she rigorously administers various tests to ensure she doesn't succumb to insanity. What's undeniable is that the outcomes of these tests were so remarkably precise that no expert could decipher where she was obtaining such hidden knowledge. Consequently, her renown spread globally, and to this day, individuals travel from distant lands to meet the famed blind medium. Many leave with an inexplicable feeling, and the majority remain reluctant to discuss their experiences with Sharon during their interviews in 2023. Sharon seems to continue her business and has several social networks such as Facebook and Instagram. And thanks to all the experiments and tests done, I think we can say that Sharon will remain the most famous Disneyland medium for a very long time. And that's the end of what would be paranormal. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to tell me in the comments if you liked it, and if you want me to cover other paranormal topics in my upcoming videos. You can also like, share, and subscribe. It was quite on fire.